Hello everyone, once more you're welcome to Healthy Options with Maureen. Today we'll be making a sauce that is very common amongst the Igbos in Nigeria, where I come from. That sauce is known as the Ofe Akwu. It has its pros and cons. One of its pros is that it's healthy, it's very tasty, it's delicious. Its cons is that it takes long, it's tedious. But after all said and done, if you're a true lover of the African delicacy, you will love this. Because it's time consuming to make this, I've divided this video into two parts. Part 1 being the extraction of the oil base for making the Ofe Akwu, and part 2 being the preparation of the Ofe Akwu itself. This week we'll be dealing with the extraction of the oil base, and next week we'll be dealing with preparation of the Ofe Akwu. Come with me as we make this. So the first thing you do when you want to make your Ofe Akwu is to wash your palm fruit thoroughly. As you can see, I've washed this, and after washing you place everything in a pot and cover with water. Make sure the water entirely covers the surface. Then you will boil for about 40 to 50 minutes until your palm fruits become tender to the touch. I'm going to place this in a pot now. I'll cover with water, and once it starts boiling I will turn down the heat and make sure it stays covered and keeps cooking till it's thoroughly soft. I'm going to place this over the heat now. So as you can see, I've been boiling some palm fruits, and you can see how soft they are now. They peels off easily from the kernel itself. So I'm going to proceed now. The next thing I will do is to put it in a mortar, and I will pound it to get the flesh out and to also extract the oil base from the flesh. So I'm going to proceed in pounding it now. First of all, I'll drain off all the water with a colander, and I'll place it in my mortar and I'll start pounding. So as you can see, I just drained off the water using a colander. I'll be transferring the palm nut to the mortar now so I can start pounding to extract the oil. You can know it's fully cooked by just squishing on it. The flesh comes out with ease. That's how you know if your palm nuts are cooked. So as you can see, I'm pouring the palm fruits inside the mortar. I will proceed pounding now. This is a very easy process. Once the palm fruits are fully cooked, that's all you need. So you just keep pounding until you're able to get all the flesh off from the palm nuts. So I'll come back and show you what it looks like by the time I'm done pounding. The next step is to transfer it into a pot so that I can extract the liquid from it. I will transfer everything here into a bigger pot here. As you can see, I've started transferring so that it will be easy for me to extract the fluid from it. And when I mean fluid, I mean the oil base. If you have a mortar big enough, you can as well do it in your mortar. But since mine is so big, that's why I need to transfer everything out into a bigger pot so I can extract the oil base. It's a bit of a tedious process here, but it's worth it at the end, trust me. So as you can see, everything is off the mortar. I'm going to start the extraction process now. Remember, we usually pound hot. It has to be hot for you to pound, that way it will be easier and the extraction will be easier. So as it is now, this pulp is a bit warm. I need some cold water, as you can see, in a bowl, and I'm also heating up some water that I may be needing just in case it starts getting cold in the process of extraction. It's best done warm. It's best done warm so that you can get out the oil, because remember we are dealing with oils here, so to extract it, it has to be done warm. So the next thing I do is to add some water into this pulp that we've already add some water. Then I'll use my hand to start the extraction process. So as you can see, I put some warm water into the mortar to be able to rinse it off. These two will be going into the pot. I'm trying to like squeeze out the oil from the pulp. I'll squeeze out this, then I will place it back into the mortar. I'll be collecting it and I'll still work with that. For now, this one's go out. So you can see I'm trying to avoid the palm kernels. These ones, I'm trying to avoid them. I'm getting this out mainly because I will still work with this. I'll still try to extract more oil from that. So as you can see, I've collected most of the pulp, and what is left here now is mainly the palm kernels, as you can see. So I will just transfer this into another pot. You can see it goes into this pot. So I'll be rinsing it off and I won't be using it anymore. So as you can see, we have mainly the palm kernel here, and we have the extract of the palm fruit here. So the next thing that we do is we'll be sieving it into this colander right now. So into the colander it goes. This will not be the final stage of sieving. We'll still use a sieve that is finer because the colander holes are quite large. So at this stage, we are going to rinse off the palm kernels. I added some warm water into the palm kernels to rinse it off. I've been able to rinse off the palm kernels, so I'll be transferring the water into this pulp to be able to get out the remaining oil extract from the pulp here. So that's what I'll be doing now. So I'm going to drain off the water from the palm kernel. So as you can see, I've drained off the water from the palm kernel using the colander. All the water from the palm kernel has been drained off. Now I'm going to work with this pulp as well. I'm working on the pulp to be able to extract the oil that is left from there, so I can sieve it into the pot that has the oil extract in it. I'm going to squeeze out very well because this is the last stage. I'm squeezing out very well to get out everything from the pulp. So whatever we have left here goes into the colander so that we can collect our oil extract. So this goes into the colander as well. So I'll be finishing up with a fine sieve. So the final stage here is to use this fine sieve. As you can see, this is finer than the colander. In terms of size, it's smaller. So what it does is that it collects the tiny debris that may have fallen into the extracts while we use the colander. So that's the final stage of the oil extraction. I'll do this now before I show you the next step. It goes into the mesh, and see, this is what we have left, but we won't be wasting all of this. I will still use a bit of warm water to rinse off this, so we can get out most of the oil and be left with just the pulp. I'm adding a bit of warm water into this. So we collect what we have from the sieve. This is the pulp that we are trying to get rid of. We don't want it in our Ofe Akwu. So I'm going to continue. I'll finish up sieving, then I will show you what the next stage is from here. Below inside the pot is our extract, completely free of pulp. The next stage now is to place it on heat so that it can start boiling, because we need to reduce it. So right now I've placed it on heat, as you can see. Right now I've placed it on heat. This is the consistency of the sauce. In the first stage, we have to reduce it to a thicker consistency before we start cooking. So you can see it's a long process, but the most difficult process of preparing your Ofe Akwu is this. Once this is ready, then every other thing is easy. So we'll leave this to boil, and I'll come back and show you what it looks like or what the consistency should be before we start cooking.